Oh no, that's
You have literally became an expert in crazy.
I ain't doing that.
Now this good woman. Now you prepared for a fight because you're
That's
used to
good,
crazy,
Right.
right? Used to combative. You geared up for a battle. But this woman come in with respect and non-confrontational.
She too nice.
This is how people end up creating arguments in a relationship because that's the only way they know how to solve conflict resolution skills. They don't know how to sit down and talk. They have to create shit. Sometimes they got to create it to confirm they love. Sometimes women create arguments to confirm how you feel.
You didn't fight for me.
So what happens when you are dating crazy for so long? Your resume of crazy chicks is extensive. And now this good girl gotta walk in your life.
Protect the bag, damn it. Protect the bag. I'm not fumbling that.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
I swear they do. I was
Not
talking
me.
to somebody that was used to talking to toxic people, and he was expecting for me to be toxic. And I'm like, no, that ain't for me. Like
They do like play toxic. They be wanting you to like play.
That's
yeah.
I'm toxic. Like what?
And I told him, I was like, you so used to toxic, like that's what you like. That's you done turned that into a type. Like you gonna have to go over there for
Oh,
that.
nothing to do.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing with that.
Should you fix the flaws in you before they come?
Oh hell yeah.
You can try to fix most of them, like that you're aware of, but sometimes when you run into somebody,
can't fix by yourself.
But how about
you
this? How
gotta
about
test it out and like
everybody that has dated an ex, they leave remnants on you, whether psychological, but they leave it emotional. Like you have to do a real observation of what this person has left behind. Because I've seen how some people act, and I'll tell them, who created this version of you? Who made you an overthinker? You don't trust nobody no more. I would love to have met you before he ruined you.
Yeah.
Because you looked at relationship with hope and gleam in your eyes. But now, I don't really care. People act as if they don't even want marriage.
Yeah, they're like, cool. We don't care nothing about that no more. Like, come on, man. Everybody wants somebody. God damn.
Like trying to make, I said this before, a lonely listen lifestyle, but somebody really created this version of you.
Right.
If
you used to be nice.
If you allow them to.
No, it ain't about
no,
you might not even see it.
Yeah.
They done turned you into this person.
Because some people think, yo, I'm just much smarter now. No,
Yeah.
somebody created this version.
Right.
they get some credit for it, but like if you gotten better from it, that means you had to sit down and become self-aware in order to like cipher everything that happened in order to get better from it. Because other than that, most of the time what people do is when they get that negative, they become bitter or they become angry or resistant against something. I'm gonna tell you
how this is how you know people leave remnants, because you become a red flag seeker. Like a person that you really like, they can show a similar sign of your ex.
Yeah.
They could just have a bad day.
Right.
But now the love you had, you start to
question.
Put this to the side and highlight this shit. If you highlight somebody's flaws, you would never appreciate their good.
But that's where you have to be consciously aware of yourself.
That's what the hell I just said.
No, because you said that. Like, go ahead.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you
because you can do everything that you're saying. Like you could look for those red flags in that person, but then you got to be able to say, "Hold up, let me stop. That's not their problem. That's my problem from this past relationship." So now you got to go back to saying, "Okay, now maybe I do need to do a little bit more work on myself so I could get that out of me." Right. Because you're just gonna be prejudiced to this person, and they don't even know that, right. And they can have good intent,
right?
But you are subconsciously still fucked up,
right? Because I can be a person that we get arguing and I raise my voice and that triggers something in you. Right. And now you see me the way you see him. That's his version of you. You think you winning, he just created you.
Yeah.
And everybody else is paying for them sins that he did.
And not being sexist, but women are more prone to that because they're more emotional. So like something like that might
trigger.
might trigger.
Oh no,
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 I
it ain't
think-
just a
no, I think
woman.
it's-
that-
I think
No,
every-
no.
I
I
just-
said
how about
that.
it?
I said that women are more emotional
Do you
than men.
trust like you used to trust?
But think about it. You don't date how you did in high school. Or
Yes,
your first
I do
love,
trust
your
how-
First
yeah, I do.
You
relationship.
trust like you used to trust?
Me?
Yeah, I do because because
Somebody
So-
created
So
that.
do you
You said
date like
too
how
much
you
on
first,
the
your
show.
first ever girlfriend, your first person
No.
you ever were into?
No.
Do you date how you dated then?
no, of course not.
You
You
Because
didn't go
you
in
learn.
for so you learned, so you were affected somehow from your past to end up where you are now.
But my boundaries has nothing to do with this new person. So I have to give them that
Why you put up
respect.
them boundaries?
There you go.
Huh?
Why you put up them
You
boundaries?
build up a wall because you trying not to let some shit in.
No.
Right.
That got
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying,
first time.
based on what you've endured.
Right.
You
So
learn to place boundaries.
So okay, I did, but I still have to understand that I need to check that and separate that because this person has nothing to do with what happened to me in the past. That's why I'm saying that you got to be subconsciously and consciously aware. And somebody say that you are like battling, but you just have to have that buffer because
Well,
it's not that person's fault if they
we-
have all good intent.
We
And-
understand that.
And what's good because I want to know what the boundaries are.
It's the red flags that you have created based on your past experiences. And that's really based on bad experiences. You could have had a relationship that just didn't work out and it's nothing personal. But then you could have went through a fucking roller coaster and you got to get over that roller coaster, but you still want to move on. You still want to be with this person because you are interested in them. So that's that inner battle. And we're all going to have that inner battle.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Why is that even a question?
Because we're humans, because we're not machines. So we can't just hit the reset button as much
But
as
what's
we want
that
to.
based off of?
What is what based off of?
Like those boundaries been set in place.
Off of the past experiences, probably bad experiences.
Right, so you carrying it from what?
You're carrying it from the past, but
Right. So
Somebody created that version of
So
it.
that's what I'm saying. Somebody had to create
If you
those
never,
patterns.
if you never went
If
dated
you
someone,
loved them
you'd
like
be
you loved them when you was 13, 14,
There you
you
go.
didn't even know to ask these
Like, if you're a
questions
40-year-old
because you
person,
never
you never-
endured anything. You never endured anything. So
Uh-huh.
you're carrying something from
but
the past.
but does that make you a more knowledgeable or better person because you went through those traumas?
We don't know.
I would
It
say
depends on
yeah.
how you carry it.
Yeah, because ignorant is bliss.
Well-
so you're right. So knowledge do have a responsibility tag to it. Like, because you know better, you try to do better.
Right.
But what happens is you can't, when you date somebody, they supposed to have a clean slate.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it's
If they hopping over boundaries, that ain't a clean slate.
at all.
Well, they could be
How you
hopping
gonna
over
walk me
boundaries and they
through-
don't even know that they're hopping over boundaries.
That's even worse.
Right. That's why it's so important for you as a person to make sure that you know what you're doing.
I understand
And that
that,
you
you're
have the
saying
control.
be self-aware.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also why when we talk about like trusting people, do you fully trust somebody? My saying is always the same. I only trust people to be people.
Yeah.